Here, see if it focuses in a minute. Is it focused a little bit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir. You're good.
All right, let's start again. I was kind of rambling around there for a minute.
This is Groundhog Day.
Using the Lord's name in vain was the last kind of good thing we was talking about.
Bad thing.
Do what?
Or bad thing.
That it's, what my point, do you understand my point of that? Is that it's not saying God damn, because God ain't God's name. And I don't know how somehow that guy got confused. But it is doing ungodly things in God's name, using His name in vain, not saying His name in vain.
Exodus 20 verse 7 says, you must not misuse the name of the Lord your God.
His name's not God.
And use it. Those ladies that I was talking about used God's name to be a gossip, and they hid behind it. They used that authority of God's name to do something that was evil. Though it's many times looked over in church. You know, they want to go after the sins that they don't like. But like I was talking a minute ago, gossip has done more damage to churches than any amount of homosexuality will ever. You know, in Exodus it says don't screw your sheep too. Not in Exodus, but in Leviticus, you know. I mean, God had to go out of His way to tell these people don't screw your animals. That's where God started with these folks. They was, you know, bad.
But that was because they were slaves and only doing what they were told. They start over as children. Had to teach them.
I reckon.
So, question.
Yeah.
So is that blasphemy?
What?
Like basically using what those ladies did?
I would think, yeah. Yeah. I would be real careful to use God told me to do this, or God told me to tell you, God told me this, God told me that, when I don't even know myself. How do you know it's God when you don't even know who you are?
Amen.
You know? Tread lightly around that, I would suggest. Right? That would be, I think, not necessarily in all instances, because I don't know all instances, but if we're operating just out of our ego, and the lessons we've learned from Sunday school and this book and that book, and this guy talked last week on this and that, you know, tread lightly around taking something you believe and then hooking God's authority up to it. If you know it, that's a different deal. Does this make any sense?
Yes.
You know, if you know it for yourself, if your testimony, because basically your testimony is not running around putting tracts in hookers' G-strings and telling them about Jesus, you know.
Do that though?
You can. You know. Your testimony is what God is doing with you, not what God did for them or that one or the other one. Does that make any sense? Because it's something you know. Not something you think.
Pastor Wayne told us, this preacher up north, took all the money they had, they took all the church's money and went out, drank it up, drove it up, spent it on prostitutes, and the rest of it he just wasted.
See? Wonder if he tithed on that, you know. But that's one of the reasons I think that when Paul was talking to Timothy, I think it was Paul talking to Timothy, he was saying don't let new converts become leaders. It's not because they're bad or, you know, it takes a minute for this stuff to get out of your head into your being. Because we've had several, you know, because we could sit around here for months and debate stuff and not know it. You know, I'm sure it's different now, but I've had folks come in here fresh out of jail, fresh out of the crack house, and want to debate predestination.
Just thinking of that.
They're master debaters. And it accomplishes about the same thing. You got that, huh? Good. Okay. Because it's all ego or cognitive stuff, and that's not bad. But if that's where it lives and there's no life to it, it's a dead thing. You know. Sorry.
They want to come up with a theory.
Yeah, theories are.
Not even educated in the field.
Well, you can be very educated and still ignorant.
Yeah.
That's how colleges exist.
Yeah.
We're debating theories and this, that. The education system teaches you very little stuff about how to survive. You know, food production, building a house, and you know, but we're not taught any of that stuff.
Teach you to manage anything in the world. First, got to get it first. To manage.
So, all right. I'm bored.
About that Crimson Tide.
That's even more boring to me.
I forget y'all.
Yes.
I mean, I went for like 2 years really believing, that, Jesus Christ, He was the Son of God, all this. And I even knew that He was going to return one day. But then I get this whole thing of like, well, He's going to come back before, the fire. It's like, why did I even have to hear about predestination? Why couldn't I just have been a believer knowing He is going to return and not have a so-called belief of how He's going to come back and before? And it kind of just messed my mind up, for a long time. And I'm still kind of like not even picking. I still haven't picked whether He's going to come this way or the other way. And that's confusing.
What's Him coming back have to do with predestination?
Predestination? That means, isn't that how He returns, or like the fire?
No.
Predestination means that there's already a day set for there.
About what? When Jesus comes?
Well, no, if you're predestined, then there's nothing you can do to mess it up. You're predestined. Well, I'm serious. Comes prefab on a truck. I know what it is. Prefab is going right there.
I didn't hear what predestination
If it's
was.
predestination, then you're predestined. Nothing you
It's a debate that's been going on for 1,500 years. There's a verse that was translated into English called a word predestined, that we were predestined to be children of God or something, whatever. And an acorn is predestined to become an oak tree, but some squirrels eat some of them.
That means that particular acorn wasn't predestined to be an oak tree, it was always going to be eaten by a squirrel.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it just meant
I just didn't get eat, so I'm gonna deal with me.
it's species that you eat, yeah, or it's whatever, the whole that you eat.
I don't see how
What?
all of our past from where we come from, how we can get here and see anything that remotely has to do with sin and pass judgment on it. Whether it be a homosexual, whether it be a person speaking or acting and gossiping, or anything. I don't, you see what I'm saying? But I mean, because after everything we've been through and been forgiven for, how can we, sitting where we are right now, pass judgment on anybody for anything besides understand the grace of God in their life and how it's very available in our life? Shouldn't we be a people of grace and not of judgment, especially us?
No. That's what every book thing that Paul writes, that's what it's about. Last week we talked about when we're judging, we're taking the place of God. Even when we judge ourselves, we are blaspheming. Hey boy. That's what I'm talking about in terms of the cognitive and the ego stuff. And we can become very expert at these. There was a guy named Tim LaHaye a long time ago. I mean, he might still be writing. It was about all this. Is it a rapture? Is it this? Is it that? Is it another? And a lot of folks would become expert in their system. You know. And then they'd spend 15 years trying to figure out what day Jesus is coming back, or who the Antichrist is, or this or that, or I remember one preacher said, in the middle of Jerusalem it says USA, that's us. And it's all very pretty and it works, but it has nothing to do with what Jesus wants you to do.
Exactly, none of that matters.
Because the kingdom of heaven is where?
Here, inside us.
Here. Jesus wants to come now in you and in me. Not when Prince whatever from England is the new Antichrist, or I got to worry that I ain't the Antichrist. If I'm going to worry.
Well, in the New Testament, I mean, it tells you clearly that there are any Christ among us now. Back then.
Many of them.
I've been one.
Religion is a very personable thing.
We all have it in this room.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you, in your heart, feel like you're going to heaven, then you probably are. Because you know you and you're judging you. You know you better than anybody other than the Father. If you feel like in your heart you're going to heaven, then you probably are going to heaven.
I think too, if you welcome the coming of this Antichrist, because we know his story, we know what happens to him. So if that happens, that just means it's even closer to us being with God. And then if we're superficial in our belief system and this world is our home, then that's going to terrify us. But if the opposite is true and this is not your home and you believe in grace and are justified through that, then we know where we're going. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, none of that matters.
None of it matters.
I think the trick is to enter the kingdom of heaven now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You ain't gotta worry about it.
You're already there. It's not we're going, we're there.
Can I have your truck? Just give it away, dude.
Yeah, you can have my truck.
Thank you.
$10,000.
All right. I don't know about all that.
You must not want it too bad.
Just let it go, dude.
How many days you been there?
3.5.
Thank you, timekeeper. Have you accomplished what you want to accomplish?
I've not been around drugs. I've been thinking about drugs. I've been enjoying going down to the lake. And I don't run from preaching, but I've never run to it. I've not tried to harm anybody, but tried to pretty much help anybody that's come to me and asked for my help. Kind of the way I live my life.
And how's that worked out so far?
Well, in the law's eyes, it hasn't worked out too well, but in mine, I'm doing all right.
Cool. You pay your bill?
Yeah.
Good. How many times you been in rehab?
Me,
Yeah.
2 times.
Yeah. How's it different now?
I went to a 22-day program and made me the mayor. Came here, it's my second one this year. 52 years old.
Hey,
There's a pool right over there.
But you want to sit in it.
Illegal pool.
That's the game right back here.
What'd you come to rehab for?
I was doing dope, couldn't pass drug test.
Why?
High.
Why?
Why? Because I wouldn't quit 5 days before I had to go take the test. Because I like getting high.
Okay. Cool. CRO needs money.
Yeah.
You know?
Could have been the same thing if I'd been smoking pot. You know, I mean, but it's legal in the same United States we live in Colorado, I can smoke it.
We'll go to Colorado.
They don't have a meth state.
We need meth heads. So thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, I make my own, you know, so. I pay taxes on the pills, pay taxes on the fuel, pay taxes on the tags to run down the road and get stuff and make it with it. Went behind a locked gate and there was no one else around. In my own little world.
Cool.
It worked for me, but it didn't work for nobody else, you know?
I ain't mad at you. Do you see how defensive you are?
Kinda.
You know, I mean, I ain't mad at you, but you're kind of interrupting what I'm trying to do by your smart ass. So that's,
Sorry.
you know what I'm saying, baby?
Yeah,
You know, because I know there are feelings under all that,
yeah.
but somehow I feel like I'm arguing with a 16-year-old,
Yeah,
and that's no offense. Okay?
I can see it.
You can see how it changed in here? Now we can do something. Y'all feel it? Because I agree with you that the drug laws are arbitrary and they're rules that some government put on a piece of paper. Okay?
And I agree with you, at the end of the day, it's against the law, and I shouldn't have done it.
I don't even really care about the law, that law. What I would care about for you if I knew you and loved you in a long time, you know, not like a Chinese hooker, but is that the other natural law that's breaking you, you're not breaking it, you know?
Yeah.
And that you, like all of us in here, have found yourself lost and trapped inside this fake shit. You know?
Yeah.
That's my concern. I don't give a shit about the police.
Right.
You know, unless they are in my rearview mirror.
Right.
You know. Do you see, baby, the difference in our discussion 10 minutes ago than this? You know? Because we could have spent 3 hours just and walked out of here just with nothing. So, yeah, I appreciate you getting real. That's cool.
Thank you.
You know, that's why I do this. It's fun. Is I think somehow we live a fiction. Because maybe that's another way of understanding it. Because what you were interacting with me through your fiction there for a while.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean by the fiction? We talked about it last week a little bit. But when somebody gets real, the whole vibration and frequency of the room changes. And the kingdom came. Now. Not one day pie in the sky when we die, Jesus is going to ride in on this magic Easter egg and, you know, fix us, save us. I think sometimes that theology of sit and wait and be a nice boy is of the devil. I think that's blasphemous. Jesus didn't say sit there and be a good boy and I'll come back and get you one day. He said, come follow me. Come do what I did. I'm the firstborn of many brethren, he says. That means we're his brothers. And that there's a new, different mode of existence that we can experience, but only now. Not after a while, not tomorrow. Uh-oh, going for the pen. Because now is all we got. This instant, this moment, and now it's gone. And there's another now and another now, potential now. So many times we spend our whole existence worried about the past, or worried about the future, and we never live in the moment. Does that make any sense at all? At all. Because you have no power in the past. You have no power in the future. The only power you have is in the moment. And when we get in our ego and in our fiction, we're not existing in the moment. Right? When we get anxious and worried or whatever, or we get anxious and we become a smart ass, or we get anxious and we become a whatever, we're not in the moment. We're not powerful. Because you're powerful and interesting now. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? When you came out from behind all that stuff. That's why I keep going back to learn to breathe. Stay inside yourself, not out here, as much as you can. And it's a habit, just like learning your different debating skills or your different way of hiding. You learned that over time, and you mastered it. Right? This other is can be mastered too. But it's something that we'll work on from forever. But in as much as we're able to stay out of the anxiety, we'll have less knots on our head. You know? And it'll be more fun. Jesus said, don't be anxious. Chill. Handle today what is in front of you today. That's where your power is. Because 5 more weeks from now, you just hear 5, it'll be 10 weeks. I'm guessing that you're going to be better able to stay in the moment than 5 weeks prior. And that you're going to become more aware when your smart ass kicks in. And it's fun a little bit, you know, it's not, because you met that way the first time, didn't we?
I think you did.
Yeah. Okay. That's how you introduce yourself. Hey, I'm a smart ass. Nice to meet you.
I thought you introduced yourself.
I did a little bit.
Also, then I started to think back and reevaluate myself. Was I smart ass than him? Should I not got up and left his class?
That's what learning to be more aware, it just a little bit, it doesn't take a whole lot to begin that. There's nothing wrong with being able to carry on. But if that's my mask and it gets stuck to my face, I'm kind of trapped.
Yeah.
I don't know me, nobody knows me. I'm alone in the universe. I don't know how to go here. I have all these patterns in my life that I don't really know much about, because every time I say why'd I do that, I go, I don't know. And I've been this way 52 years, or 35 years, or 27 years, or however many years. And I'm somewhere deep inside of me, I'm dissatisfied with myself. But I don't really know. And I feel helpless like we did last week. You know? I mean, were you here last month? We was talking about his dream. No, his dream. I mean, he was able to verbalize and I think comprehend a little bit the level of self-hate he has. Did that make any difference?
Yeah.
And also to see that his main addiction is being God of a universe that doesn't exist. You know? Because he loves himself, or he wouldn't give a shit, but he also hates himself and he punishes himself. And moves back and forth between there. And the main point was he didn't create himself. He don't get to play God. I mean, can. You know. It's in the moment, in the stillness, we are powerful. There is no death there. There's nothing that can take us out of God's hands there. There's no circumstance, there's no regret, there's no power that can overcome that. So I think to some degree we do religion as though it's magic. As though if I memorize the words and say them just right or have the right kind of beliefs, that Jesus will go tick 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 and wave his magic cross at us and it'll poof. And we spend so many months and years, decades sometimes, trying to learn about God. And we don't spend 5 minutes being with God. Does that make any sense at all? And especially those of you that come up in church and you change churches or change religions, or well, this guy's got, he's talking about Jesus is going to come in on a white horse and he's going to hop on one leg and do it like this. And oh, hell, let's go over yonder and listen to him. And you know, or Jesus is black, or Jesus is white, or because there's people that's their religion. You know, and that's the secret. Them crackers. And some of y'all have not heard any of this your whole life, right? In terms of knowing God. You've been taught to know about God. Does that make any sense? That if you can memorize it and get just the right Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, Episcopalian, Pentecostal, Mennonite, Amish, and all you're doing is you're developing a culture with certain norms.
Sounds like Pharisee, you know.
You go to the Southland restaurant right after church, right?
You know? And I'm not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with all those. But that's not what Jesus was about. That's not what God was about. You know? Because if you're Baptist, you can not drink. And that's going to get you to, that's kind of a real stereotype. If you're Baptist and you believe this, how many of y'all Baptists? You believe this, and this. If you're Methodist, you can drink. Or Episcopalian, you can drink. You know, with the Amish said, oh, that's going to hell because we use electricity. And it's just different cultures. Right? Maybe not, I'm not an expert on Amish, but you know.
That's right, I used to live right now.
You know.
The Mennonites can use electricity.
Okay, the Mennonites can.
Yeah.
And that's not knowing God by not using electricity. You don't know God by not drinking a beer. You don't know God by, that's the opposite. God in creation said, y'all do whatever you want to, but I'm going to decide what's right and wrong, not y'all. I mean, one of the temptations that Eve got was, didn't God say you couldn't do this? You go, no, he didn't say that. You know?
I've even heard people say, well, he invented it. He invented meth.
Well, yeah. No, he didn't. The Nazis invented meth. Keeping poor bastards awake.
He gave us the knowledge to make it.
He did.
Yeah.
And all things are permissible. Not all things are profitable. So if somebody wants to go shoot up or smoke meth or snort meth or however you stick it up your ass, however you do.
I I hear it's a big thing now. Everybody's starting to ding everything.
Ding, is that what that's called? Stick it up their ass?
In prison, that's the term.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that memo.
They got it.
Ding.
Well, I mean, it absorbs stuff real quick, I guess.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, I ain't mad at nobody it ain't for me to be mad at nobody for doing nothing. And then the Christian folks say, well, we don't do meth and we don't say shit. You know? And we don't run around on our wives, we just look at porn, you know? Whatever. It's a religion, that's not knowing God. I think your religions can be like training wheels. The law, that's what Paul says, the law is like a tutor, it's training wheels. Just kind of give us some boundaries to kind of experiment in, but God meant for you to be able to go build a ramp and jump that bike off of it, not totter around on training wheels all your life.
Takes a whole village, doesn't it?
You know? What's going on the campus week?
Sunday we're going to Connections College Day.
No, the process. What's going on between y'all?
We got some people coming, look around. We gotta get around clean.
The donors are coming?
Here they're backers. Backers.
I think there's a pretty good vibe.
Yeah.
I think everybody's getting along pretty good.
Yeah.
That can be good or it can be bad. You know, I don't know. But I would just get you to ask yourself, if you want to, what kind of intention have you had toward your recovery? You know, does that make any sense, that question? Because you're the only one that's going to do anything about it. Or not. Because coming in here or any rehab or any church, we can learn the lessons, we can establish a new pattern in our life and still have not affected anything that is driving us into trouble again and again and again. You know? And I say use all this stuff that they give you, but it has to reach much deeper than your head. As many of y'all carry a lot of grief, a lot of anger, a lot of fear. Is anybody like that? You know? And learning to do your chores don't necessarily help you with that. You know? It can. After last week, Moy, did you feel like you needed to pull back some?
Yeah, a little bit.
Too much?
I did a little bit on Friday and Saturday. Stayed in bed.
You were depressed?
A little bit, and it was a little bit of me just trying to figure out me.
Trying to dream.
Hmm?
He's trying to have a dream.
What are you doing here, son?
Me?
With yourself, yeah.
Trying to get better.
And what are you doing to do that?
What am I doing to do that? Put my faith in God.
What does that mean?
What's that mean? It means quit trying to do everything by myself. Quit trying to do everything my way. Quit working. Try to learn new habits.
You know I love you, right?
We're about to find out.
No, I do. That's why I'm going to do this for you.
Alright.
Try is for bitches. Okay. And I say that because try is an illusion. Because, come here, come here. Come here. Oh, we can do it on that stool, it'll be fine. Come here. Come here and sit down, baby. All right, would you do me a favor and try to stand up? No, you stood up. Sit back down. Sit back down. No, just try to stand up. No, you're sitting down. Try to stand up. No, you stood up. Try to stand up. You can't try to stand up. You either stand up or you sit down. Okay? Okay, go sit down. And when we say that, has anybody ever asked a girl out on a date and she says she's going to try? Get there?
She ain't coming.
Or I'm going to try to get that money for you? And have you ever taken that as you let that be okay for now? Yes. Try is like a magic word.
What if you don't know if you can do it, but you're gonna try?
But you can't.
Like you gotta come up with $50,000 in 10 days, and you're gonna.
But you either do it or you don't.
What about the time in between? What are you doing?
You're going to get it. Remember Dorothy? Did Dorothy try to get money every day, or did Dorothy get money every day?
She got money.
Dorothy didn't go, oh, I'm going to try. Boy, I'm going to try to get some money today.
No, she did. My mom gave her a bag of canned food. She went to take it. She was hungry. She wants money.
Do you understand what I'm saying, baby? Because try, folks will say, well, I'm going to try to, and that'll maybe fake us out for a minute. You know? Right? I'm going to try. When you're in jail, they don't use try, do they?
To get better.
Yeah. You don't say, I'm going to try to get you that pack of cigarettes.
I need some cigarettes, by the way.
I never tried to get those.
Well, I'm going to try to get you some.
Which one?
And then when we say the word try to ourselves, we're faking ourselves out the same way. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Because you never tried to go get no dope.
Become doers.
Doers of the word, not right? That's what it means.
Yeah.
Just to put off, to try, is just to put off.
Yeah, we're blowing smoke up our own ass when we say I'm gonna try. And I think, baby, that is beautiful because it touches on your self-doubt. You know?
Yeah.
And when you're aware of that, you're in a powerful position. Because when you're saying, I'm going to try, I'm going to try, I'm going to try, you're not really dealing with the self-doubt part. You know? I dealt with this boy one time, he was 25 or so, and he was in trouble with the courts. Well, he was 23 or so, I don't know, young guy. And he kept saying that he was going to go get in the Army. And that was going to be the solution of his problems. But he never graduated high school. He's probably 23, so he had 18, 19, 20, maybe 21, 22. And now he's say 21, 22, and he can't get in the Army till he gets a GED or something, right? And every time his mom or somebody or the judge would say, "What you gonna do?" "I'm gonna go get in the Army." And a month went by, and 6 months went by, and a year went by, and 2 years went by, and 3 years went by, and he still hadn't even begun to try to get a GED. Could have done it in 6 months, probably, especially before they changed the GED, so it's so hard now. But he told himself that story over and over and over again. He told his mom, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to try." And either one, he was lying, or two, he didn't really ever want to go get in the Army anyway. Sometimes we tell ourselves stories that we don't even believe. To pacify ourselves, to fake ourselves. "I'm going to try." To fake ourselves, "I'm trying." You know? I mean, a good way to figure out if you're doing anything, just for your own sake, not for anybody else, is get a calendar from the drugstore for free. And every day if you say, "I'm going to do this," or "I'm going to do that," every day you do it, put a little mark on the calendar. And if you're honest with yourself and you go back at the end of the month and look at it, and you got 4 marks,
You're doing it.
you're not doing it.
I was imagining my calendar all filled up. Good checks.
Well, yeah. That's not trying, that's doing.
Yeah.
And there's the objectifiable proof. You know, unless you start lying on checking the boxes. They'll give me a half mark, you know. I thought about it today. You know, I don't know how many folks I talk to, well, they can't get a job for this or they can't get a job for that, and I get a calendar out and I'm looking every day, I'm doing this every day, I'm doing whatever. And we go back and there's 4 days out of 30 that they actually did something about finding a job. Do you understand? Because if that's how you deal with your self-doubt, baby, is you get with somebody or whatever and figure out this would be a good thing for me to do to improve myself, you know, and then you just keep up with it. And if you ever doubt, go back and look at your calendar, because that's not trying, that's doing if all of them are filled up. And I think try lives in that fictional world. The word try is a fictional word, because you can't try. You can attempt and fail. That's different than trying. Because attempting and failing means I'm learning, because I'll attempt it again and I'll attempt it again and I'll attempt it again until I get it. Just like if I'm hungry for some dope. Right? Or you're chasing that woman, or you're whatever. Is you going to stay here in this county, baby? You don't know?
I don't want to, really.
Because I would like to see a man grow up and raise his young'uns right here. Another man. Because there's lots of them that don't. You know? That's something you can do. And you will change the world if you do that, when you do that. That's how you change the world. You change yourself, and then you change your young'uns, and you affect everybody around you. Because right now your name means what? Whatever it means. You know? It's really cool when your name means something else. You can make it mean whatever you want it to mean. And you ain't got to wait on me or no judge or your mama or nobody. You get to do that because you can, because you're a child of God. And you're learning day by day what that means. You know? And that ain't about religion. It ain't about being a good boy. It's about being the unique, singular creation that God wants you to be. You know? With your little smart ass ways and say, all that's cool and it's cute and stuff. You know, it's funny. But sometimes you get lost in that. You know? Because you don't be old as his ass and still acting this way, do you? Talk to him.
I try to have you remember that.
Yeah, but y'all just bullshit at each other all day.
No.
Okay, good. Papa will teach you some stuff. You know? You already know how to make meth, so you don't need that. So y'all talk about something else.
We don't talk about that.
I'm just running my mouth, baby.
Be relapsing out there in the pond.
Well, just this morning, he was laid out on the pew up there asleep. I came in, he sat up, looked at me, took his hat off. I said, I'm getting somewhere.
So,
Hey, that's how I worship in the morning.
that's fine.
Sleep. I like to lay down. I mean, I'm uncomfortable sitting up for an hour listening to music. I can actually just listen to it, but thinking about how I want to lay down.
That's good. That's how God made you. You know? If you want to stand on one foot and jump up and down, it's fine. You know? But that's a degree of self-knowledge that you may or may not have had before. You know? So you're getting to know yourself. And it just takes a little time. And becoming more and more aware when our defenses kick in or our false self kicks in. Because as soon as we do that, we're not in the moment anymore. And we've given away our power. So, all right, anything else? What? Gotta go pee. Okay, bye.
All right, so therefore,